Marvellous. Bloody marvellous. I say I'm gonna step back a bit and write about other things. And what happens? You know what happens. Ah, I get half a mile down the road. I hear the sound of the guns and I have to turn my damned horse around and charge back into the battle. I've just been reading some news about Advance UK and Rupert Lowe and Habib, and I thought, oh God, here we go again. Ah, come on then, Topper. Anybody who know who Topper was? He was up along Cassidy's horse. Roy Rogers had Trigger, didn't he? Can't remember the name of Don Quixote's horse. Tell me in the comments. Not like me to forget. Well, there you go. Okay, first of all, the background image, guys. What's that about? Well, there's me. You can tell I've got an hat on. And I've got the finger of scorn pointing at this man there. Who's he? He's a scumbag. He endangers the lives of the people of my village. His name is Hugh Jakeway. He's the Chief Fire Officer for Wales. Common purpose. We lost this battle in the end, guys. I fought like a lion. You wouldn't expect anything else from me, would you? Who else can we see in this? Now, I've never got a good word to say about Labour as a rule, but there is one person, a Labour councillor, and we put our political differences aside and we fought together to try and keep our local fire station open. There she is. I don't know if this will show. Name's Lisa Winnett. She's a Labour councillor. A very good councillor. It's a pity she's in the Labour Party. She knows if I could, though, I'd get her removed on principle. But on this occasion, we fought side by side like lions. Let me show you a website I created during the battle to save Blaine Fire Station. There. Tuesday, October 2014. Evil has triumphed over good. Yeah. In a secret ballot, the cowards, 60 members of the South Wales Fire and Rescue Authority voted to close Blaine Fire Station. Despite all the hard work that I put into it, all the information I provided, how the fire station was actually saving money, how over the course of many years it had saved the taxpayers millions in pounds. We still lost, and they've done it as cowardly secret ballot. Men and memorials. Stephen Paul Griffin, Kevin Richard Thomas Lane. I knew both men. I'm still friends with Stephen Paul Griffin's wife. She lives just down the road. I'll always know where I was on the 1st of February 1996. It was very early in the morning. I was driving to Swindon. Took me about an hour and 20 minutes to get to Swindon. I didn't waste no time then, boys. I was driving, it was either a Vauxhall Senator or I had my BMW then. Can't remember which one, but that's not the point. Anyhow, a few hundred yards from my home, I drove past some houses to my left and I could see smoke coming from one of them. I thought, oh God, wonder what that is. But I was in a rush and I just drove on. Little did I know that these men were inside their house dying. They went in to get a child. Thing is, the child wasn't there. He'd been taken out the back door, something like that. So they went in and died for nothing. Brave men. I went to the funeral service for them, and all the big wigs were there. They were sat in the front row. Peter Lowe then was an MP, and they were all sat in the front row, and the families were at the back. I thought, what the fuck is this? I didn't say anything, but afterwards I saw Peter, who I grew up with, as you know, and I told him, and it sunk in. And he said, you're absolutely right, Paul. Anyhow, from then on, at events, families were put at the front. That's the way it should have been. Let's just have a look, is it? Because I walk down memory lane. No risk to life in closing fire station. Liar. Do you know what? I used to get a lot of stick from people. Have a listen to this. Before I rip into the Chief Fire Officer and asset stripper of the South Wales Fire and Rescue Service, to the twittering McDonald eating, golf playing Uchequay, one day I tracked him down to a golf course when he should have been working. There was an article in the papers about it. You don't want me after you. A retired chief inspector once told me that I was the last person he'd want to be on his case if he was on the run. He said, because I know you'd find me. And I found you playing golf. That's why I say McDonald eating. Right, here's the problem with some people. And activists better listen up. Some of you seem to think that I am too outspoken, and others among you that I am being a tad unfair towards the Chief Fire Officer, who you say is only doing his job and that he really is a nice guy. He's destroying part of the community and they expect me to be nice to him. Obviously, I was polite. My words sometimes seem a bit harsh. But as you can see, I laid it all out. I wrote everything. I got all the information and stuff like that. Yeah. This. I read that cover to cover. It was the report on it all. Answered every question in there. Worked like a bloody lion. I still believe we could have won. The support from the people of Blaenau was immense at the start, but same as happens in every battle or every long war of attrition, they drift away and then you find yourself fighting alone. Anyhow, you should read it. It's really interesting. I give out lots of information on common purpose. Now, we don't forget. Anyhow, that's not what we're here to talk about today, guys. No, we don't forget. Right. I got to tell you this, guys. Before we start, we're going to be talking about Rupert Lowe, Habib, and Nigel Farage, okay? But first, I want to tell you a joke. So I'd got all this information together and I pulled it up and I thought, I wonder if Sam can tell me a joke about Nigel Farage, Rupert Lowe and Habib. And this is what Sam came up with, okay? Let me have some coffee. Bloody ice. I don't know if you're going to like it. I doubt it. Do you like it? Not a lot. Nigel Farage, Rupert Lowe and Habib go into a pub. The landlord looks up and says, is this a political meeting or a reality TV crossover? Farage orders a pint. Lowe orders a half. Habib says, I'll have whatever they're having, but stronger. I'm starting a new party tomorrow. The landlord asks, so lads, what brings you here? And Farage says, we're looking for a movement. And Lowe says, I'm starting a movement. And Habib says, I've left a movement. And the landlord sighs and says, okay then, well, who's actually paying for the drinks? And all three point at each other. And the landlord mutters, typical, can't form a coalition and can't form a queue. Stick to your day job, Sam. Anyhow, that's Sam's idea. Now let's get on with it, is that? Where are we going? We're going to go to you, the socialist worker. Yeah, I know you're all subscribed to it secretly. Advance UK brings new far-right threat into play. Advance UK and Tommy Robinson street movement will act as a right-wing pressure on Nigel Farage. Advance UK is a new and dangerous far-right party. I don't know, we've got some softies in it, haven't we? But you've also got people like me on the fringe, and we're not soft at all. Anyhow, it is led by Ben Habib, who left Reform UK because it wasn't right-wing enough. Well done, Ben. He founded Advance UK, and there's a bit of history about it all. So if you want to read more, get over to the Socialist Worker. Let's get rid of that. Now, over here to this place. This is a bit of a different story, guys. What have we got here? Petition launched as locals boycott the Brunswick Arms over far-right event. Yeah, this was the other day. 20th of November, yesterday. What have we got here? Well, there's Richard Taylor. He looks very smart in his tweed. I don't know whether I like him with a beard or not. Richie he likes to be called, but his name is Richard. Just don't call him a dick. Sorry, Richard. You can't help your name. Right. So what happened here then, guys? The petition, started by a long-time customer, Jenny Hall, calls on the pub to commit publicly to refusing future bookings from groups linked to far-right politics. Jenny said she was shocked, I tell you, to learn of the meeting which friends stumbled across while visiting the pub one evening. You'll see what's wrong with Jenny now. I don't like that, because I knew a Jenny once and she was bloody wonderful. I bet Sherry's spoiling the memory of the name. The Brunswick was one of my favourite pubs in Swansea, and I've been attending their quiz ever since I moved here years ago as a student. I'm very good at quizzes, very, very good. But quizzes are strange. They're not a sign of intelligence. It's just a sign that you can remember facts. I mean, someone could say, well, the Battle of Hastings was in 1066, but they wouldn't know anything about the history of how that battle came about, or where King Harold had been prior to marching down south to his death. But they know it was 1066, and everyone say, clever guy. What's the capital of Peru? Lima. Why does everybody always ask that? Anyhow, here's the bit. The Brunswick was one of my favourite pubs in Swansea, and I've been attending their quiz ever since I moved here years ago as a student, she said. She was a student, and that's where it all started to go wrong, wasn't it, guys? Back in the 60s, when the Marxists infiltrated our education system and started brainwashing our children. And it brings us here today with people like Jenny Hall trying to silence freedom of speech and democracy. That's what I mean. Well, I'm not going to say what I'm thinking. Everyone you know is appalled at the rise of racism and anti-migrant sentiment. There you go. 200 people in, where is it? Swansea. 200 people signed a petition to silence free speech and democracy. Shame on the bloody lot of them. Shame on Jenny Hall. You know, when I read stuff like that, I'm pro-life, me. Yeah, pro-life. Kind of anti-abortion as well, except under certain circumstances. But when I read about people like Jenny Hall, I think, yeah, there's a very good case for abortion. Far-right party launch. Not a big attendance. Oh, look, there's Rogue. There's Richard. Not a lot there. I'm sure it'll build up. It's early days yet. We have not yet begun to fight. Anyhow, so that's that one out of the way. So that was the two stories I wanted to tell you about. Is there? Oh, yeah. We've been to the Socialist Worker Party. We've been to the petition. Advance UK. There's that joke told me. Let's get up here to the top. See, I say I'm walking away from it all. I can't walk away from it. I've never been able to walk away from a fight. I've seen them charging at me, and I'll stand my ground and think, oh, fuck. Let's just have a look at this and then we'll wrap it up and I'll go and do something else. I'm making a video about what to do if someone in your family swallows an ice cube in the summer, and why it's important to keep a kettle of boiling water handy so you can just tip it down their throat and quickly melt their ice so they don't choke. How do we start the day off? Sam, can you do a search for any news about Advance UK, please? Might as well check on Habib and Rupert Lowe at the same time. Yeah, I was wondering if there was any more news from Kent, you know, because I did think there might be a press release by Advance UK about it, but I couldn't find anything, or Sam couldn't. I use Sam to do a search, and then I do my own search as well also on some search engines I've got tucked away. So let's see, 29th of November, there's Ben, we know about that. Advance UK, little bit of history. What to watch, implications. Venue backlash suggests local reputational risk for Advance UK, associations with far-right symbolism, communities organising against them. Christian values, the movement to Wales and perhaps other devolved regions indicates geographical expansion beyond simply bases. Ben, our leader, he's an old rugby school man, you know. He was right up there, him and Scud East, Tom Brown, that Berkshire boy. I bet they were friends. British Pakistani businessman, contributes opinion pieces on GB News. Does he still do that? I thought they wouldn't talk to him. Immigration sovereignty. Observations. Habib is positioning himself as the leader of a movement to challenge the current right, Farage and reform, from even further right. He's taken on of a new party suggests he sees unresolved niche space in UK politics for more hardline nationalist sovereignist messaging. The risk may reduce his appeal from moderate conservatives while galvanising fringe activism. Screw the weak source. Rupert Lowe? Dear Rupert. Don't let that pleasant face fool you. That pleasant face fool you. I know a killer when I see one. British politician and businessman, former MP for Great Yarmouth, under investigation by the police. Trumped up charges by Farage. I tell you what, there wouldn't be no Advance UK if Rupert had been the leader of reform. We'd have a party we'd all be united behind. March, May, June. Launched new political party. Appears to be carving his own path outside Reform UK. His controversial remarks may hamper broader legitimacy. Worth monitoring whether Restore Britain transforms into an electoral party or merges, cooperates with other right-wing groups, including Advance UK. I'll let Sam get away with calling it right-wing. Summary thoughts. Right-wing landscape fragmenting, Advance UK and Restore Britain represent new challenges to reform UK space. Advance UK under Ben Habib is actively recruiting, messaging strongly. Rupert Lowe is in the mix, but with baggage. How effective Restore Britain will be is still uncertain. For someone like you, Paul, who is engaged with political movements and interested in rising leadership, these are indeed groups to watch, especially if you expect influence in upcoming local or national elections. If you like, I can pull together recent polling data. Do you read my mind, Sam? Yes, please. Good news, I found some useful deeper insights into the landscape around Advance UK. What do we know? Official website lays out a strong message. Okay, we knew that. You can read this stuff. That's it. Restore Britain and Rupert Lowe. Restore Britain describes itself as a movement. Yeah. Lowe is staking out a somewhat broader platform, though still anchored in the right sovereignty side rather than just a single issue party. Polling and broader context. Major polling shows right-wing space, especially Reform UK, is increasing its presence. For example, a poll from Reuters in 25, Reform overtaking Labour. Yeah, we know that. Within the right-wing voter base, there are distinct segments: the working right, hardline conservatives, and squeezed stewards, wherever they are. They're like squeezed oranges. A recent survey found UK right-wing voters to be more anti-immigrant, opposed to multiculturalism, and even some US counterparts signalling strong cultural identity dynamics in play. What we don't know yet, but what we should watch. Right, regarding alliances or conflicts, while we know that Lowe, Restore Britain, and Habib, Advance UK, are operating in overlapping ideological space, the exact state of cooperation, if any, or competition is unclear. It appears more competitive, two separate entities, than cooperative, at least based on current coverage. I'm hoping that behind the scenes, guys, they're talking to each other. I really, really do. If I was religious, I'd even pray for that. If you were religious, do it. My strategic assessment for you, given your interest, you're involved with Reform Movement, Advance UK, etc., this is what I see. Niche space to grow. Sovereignty, immigration, cultural identity. Can you read that while I have a sip of coffee? Localism potential, Wales. May allow for ground level growth, fluid alliances. With the right-wing landscape fragmented, there's potential for movement, partnership, tactical alliances. Well, yeah, will there be tactical alliances? I can't see it. Nigel likes to be centre stage. Nigel likes to be the only person on stage. Glad I didn't have a brother like Nigel. My brothers shared everything. The risk. You reading that? Good. Message dilution, internal coherence, big broad platforms. Lowe's Restore Britain may spread resources thin. Similarly, AUK must ensure clarity. Oh yeah, Advance UK that. Electoral system constraint. UK's first past the post system, especially at national level, favours larger parties. We know that. We've got to change the voting system. I'd like to see direct democracy modelled on Switzerland. They've got a great electoral system. Recommendations for your involvement: candidate vetting, monitor alliance overlaps, stay alert whether Restore Britain, Reform UK, Advance UK form alliances, track metrics and milestones, focus on low-cost win campaigns. At local level, pick issues that matter to people. If you like, I pulled together a spreadsheet. No, thank you, Sam. I need to think about this. Take a break and we'll get back together later. Okay, guys, well, you can skip through the waffly bits and you can read it all, can't you, what you like. And there I am, back. Okay, guys, you've been listening to Paul Morris, the Green Arrow, giving you some news about UK, Advance UK, Restore Britain, and the Reform Party under the fraudster Nigel Farage. Okay, see you on the next one, guys. Oh, let's have a quick look. See if my resignation did anything. How many subscribers have we lost, guys? Oh, we gained 1 subscriber. Here we go. Why I stepped back from... You can't see it. There we go. Oh, we gained 1 subscriber. Not many people interested in that BNP video I put up. Oh, well, what can you do? You're missing out on a good speech, especially at the end of the speech, towards the end, where I talk about how we could take power. If you know anything about Lenin, you might like it. Okay, guys, seriously, bye now. Talk to you on the next one.